Welcome back to American Nostalgia Garage. I'm here with Ryan, and we're in the car, and we are actually in the armpit of Earth. They call it the Bronx. And it is the gateway from hell and hell, which is New Jersey and the Bronx. Anyway, we are on our way right now to go pick up yet another vehicle to revitalize. Now we've just got to sit in 2 more hours of traffic to go 30 miles that way, and then we'll show you. Well, welcome to Val Kilmer's personal home. I believe it's named after his mother. So basically, I think there's going to be like an OK Corral shootout around here pretty soon. We might want to get out of here. Taking a minute to check the straps on the trailer, which were loose. For the record, anybody who's going to visit Val Kilmer's house, there's a Popeyes here, and apparently they just order whatever they decide to give you. I ordered 3 different items, which they didn't have, and I don't know what's in the bag. Anyway, we're gonna get back on the road, try to get this home. All right, we're getting to work today, but just came back here, and this is why you guys always need to be as safe as possible. I found someone loitering in my backyard, really burglarizing my house. Why is he here?
Definitely wasn't me.
Yeah, this guy was just trying to steal my truck. As it turns out, we actually bought this together.
Good decisions.
There won't be any problems with this. We have a, I think it's an 85. That doesn't tell you anything. It's an 85 K10. It's got a small block Chevy, and I can already tell you what the problem is. The number 2 VIN code is built in Canada. That's the problem. Anyway, it's got its aches and pains. It's bluish green, I guess. It's got 2 tanks. I'm sure neither of them will work, so that'll be good. Got a box of calipers in the front. That's fantastic. We have an HEI distributor cap, which is good because I'm sure we'll need it. The dash bezels in on the seat. We've got a collector gasket thing from 1885. I think that goes around the steering column at the bottom. Rust neutralizer. Doesn't work. Oh, maybe this one works. Rubberized. Oh, okay. It doesn't even work on the can. Carburetor's on the seat. That's good. It's got keys. Dash is absolutely mint. And the seat is mint. I don't think anybody even ever sat there.
No. It's got to be a low mileage truck.
Yeah. All right, so we're not going to fight on this at all. There won't be any disagreements. And we'll probably make $10 to $12 million on this flip. So maybe we should get started, though. The old Polaris strikes again. This thing is a powerhouse. Pulled the truck right out of that muddy marsh back there. Worth every dollar, just saying. And built in America. All right, we're going to work on trying to get this tailgate open. It might not seem like a priority, and that's because it's not. But we've got to get this thing open because we need a tool bench. And I'm not doing it. He's going to do it.
I'm not doing it.
All right, we want to get this thing running. And I think I found the problem. The carburetor's not bolted in the right direction. It goes like that, guys. You guys are all doing it wrong. This is how it goes. Anyway, just kidding. We're going to take this off, and because it's already not bolted, I'm going to take it apart, clean it up, go through it a little bit, and make it so it's even less usable than it is now. In the meantime, I think Ryan's going to change some plugs. Chances are those will snap off in the head, and I'll ruin this, so it'll never run again. All right, we got a carb rebuild kit for an Edelbrock/AFB. I assume that a lot of these are swap over parts because that's pretty much what this is. Anyway, they give you a lot of optional stuff, which I'm not going to use. Let's just get rid of some of this. Maybe we'll use that one. All right, that rebuild kit costs $59, so we're going to pick all of that up and try to put it in. Also, what the hell happened to rebuild kits? Weren't they like 15 bucks? Now they're $59? got all the top bolts out that hold the top onto the carburetor. And before I actually take that out, I'm going to clean inside here, which is where our metering rods are. So these you can loosen up, kind of slide them out of the way. This should just kind of pop right up. If it doesn't pop right out, obviously it's stuck, so that's a problem. You want to make sure that these don't have stuff on them, so you clean them up. And in there, this rod actually slides in and out of your jet, and it's tapered, so it closes off or opens up more of that jet down there as it moves with vacuum. And this spring actually resists the vacuum at certain driving circumstances. And anyway, this rides up and down inside the jet and meters your fuel that way. We're going to take them out for now. First thing I'm going to look at when I take this apart is in there, that's our needle and seat, and you want to make sure that it moves, obviously. And it does, sort of, but you see it kind of gets stuck. See, it's not coming down. So that's probably got to be cleaned out. Other ones, sort of the same thing. Got our accelerator pump system. Not terrible, but not great either. This is all sand and sediment and impurities from the old gas. And that's got to be cleaned out. And if you look real close, there's our jets down there. Down there, and one there. Got our version of a squirter here, same as Holly, but a little bit different. And then we got our boosters. So we got to take a lot of stuff apart here. All right, simple stuff. That's what you end up with. Got your boosters, main body, the top, some linkage, which now I don't remember where that goes. A squirter. This thing's pretty dirty. I'm gonna have to clean out all the jets. There's jets up here too. Clean that all out and blow out all the spiders that are in there. And then throw most of that crap at it. I'm going to use our straw and try to get down in all these orifices, and then I'm going to blow them out with compressed air. Alright, that's important to see when you shoot your fluid, your cleaner, into an orifice. You want to see it come out somewhere else. And that's our jet feeding the booster here. We've got to do the same on this end too. That shot me right in the face. Alright, I'm blowing out all of our orifices here just to make sure that they're all clear. What you're looking for is whenever you blow inside of something, that the air comes out where you want it to. And if you don't know, you should hopefully be finding out when you get sprayed in the face with carb cleaner. But what you're looking for is when it ultimately does come out of where you want it to, that it doesn't have like a pop noise. Because if it has a pop noise, that means whatever you just blew out had some sort of restriction. Something was blocking in there. This is pretty clear, so we're actually just going to blow it out and put everything back. On the other side of the car, while I'm hard at work, this guy is over here just making a collection of old spark plugs. Anyway, he's got all the old ones out, and now we're going to go in with some new ones. Let's see what these look like. He's got them all labeled. Nice. So we can see none of them are super wet. I mean, they have some age on them. Yep. They're definitely from the 1640s. These things are black. Yeah, I mean, but nothing's...
No rust or anything?
Yeah, nothing's hurt.
Actually, there is one thing that's hurt. It's my back from bending over the fender of this thing for the last 20 minutes.
Well, better you than me. Alright, so we have a big gaping hole right there, which hopefully I'll be filling pretty soon. We have 8 little tiny holes on this side, which hopefully will soon be filled. And then maybe we can figure out what's going on with that tan thing back there. It's some sort of engine carousel. And then maybe we can get this thing running.
Do you want me to just throw these in the yard so you find them with the lawnmower?
Something tells me, because of all the stuff I already have, that I might not find them.
Oh, you'll find them. And it's going to find the windshield.
It's like finding a spark plug in a garbage stack. Here's always a good thing to check is these little screens inside the needle and seat. And this one was clogged. It had some stuff in it. So make sure you take that out, make sure you blow it out. We're going to replace them because we got them in the kit. So Let me give you a sneak peek of why we do this. I don't know if you can see in there. There is a lot of dirt in there. See this black spot like right where the tip of the screwdriver is? That's dirt. And there's a lot of it in there. Some of it at the bottom too. Alright, carb is all done. Plugs are in. Old wires, but they all look alright. So we're going to throw a new gasket on there. We've got some fresh studs in the cross-threaded intake manifold, so that'll be fine. We'll get this thing installed, and then we'll go from there. Alright, carb is on. Here is our old fuel feed. We are not going to hook this up right now. We'll probably put it off to a bottle here. I don't even know if the fuel pump's good on this. But we don't want to pump any of the bad fuel that's in the tanks from the 1800s into this brand new carburetor. Also, this is loose, so that's good. We're going to plumb our own little source in, and we don't know if that distributor is going to work or not, or if it even has power, but we're going to just try turning the key and see what happens. Probably throw enough fuel in there just to start a fire, just to make sure that if it does fire off, that we don't have to work on it anymore, because it'll be burning down in my backyard. I knew having this guy at my house was going to be a bad idea. He just stole a battery out of one of my trucks. And that one doesn't run. But you want to know something? It does have a stereo with no speakers, so I need a battery for that. Anyway, we're going to pilfer it right now for the K10, and we're going to hook it up, and we're going to watch and listen for smoke and sizzling bacon.
I got marshmallows in the truck.
We're going to make s'mores. We want to make sure that this thing doesn't burn down before we put fuel in it. I want the chance to add fuel to the fire. So let's get this battery installed, and then we're going to turn the key. Check it out. Unfortunately, the battery's hooked up and it's not on fire, so I guess my day is going to have to continue. With headlights?
Oh, headlights work.
Alright, we got power. We're just going to send this thing to the moon now. Whoa, there's a buzzer in here. Apparently I should put my seatbelt on. Okay, it turns. Alright, it turns. It didn't exactly sound super thrilled about turning, and I didn't check to see if there was any fluid in it. Did you? Okay, so nobody knows if there's fluid in it. Like oil, I mean. And where did this come from? It's war paint. Alright, we are going to give this thing a fuel source. We're going to check to make sure that it has oil in it. And then we're going to send it to the moon. Alright, so we're going to bottle feed this baby. And whenever you put your fuel in containers, guys, make sure it's approved and environmentally friendly. So I have a mustard container, so that's good. And then this is also approved. It is made by the Snapple Corporation, or somebody else, I don't know. We're going to catch the old fuel out of the sludge tank, which is underneath the car, which used to be a fuel tank, and we're going to catch the old stuff in here. That way, at least we know what's in there. I don't know how full they are. I don't know how to switch the tanks. I don't know which tank it is, so I'm assuming this will be one of many tests. So spark test number 1. Clear prop. Oh my God, it cranked up. All right. Okay, wait a second. Okay, we know a lot of information now. Okay, eye-opening experience here. That cranked right off, which means the timing's even probably pretty accurate. So now we're going to have to do a little bit more permanent stuff, which is going to be slightly more permanent than we already have. I want to get this in a safer spot so it doesn't pour fuel all over our headers. And then I want to get another fuel source with its own hose, and we'll put a nice fresh tank on this thing. All right, so I'm going to hook up the inlet of to the fuel pump to our makeshift tank, and then the outlet, which is up here, is just going to get a new hose and go right to the carb. But I don't know if that fuel pump's good, so once I get this hose off, I'm going to have Ryan turn it over and we'll listen to see if it makes gorilla noises. All right, I'm going to put my finger over the inlet of the fuel pump just to see if, when he turns it over, if it's pulling or creating any suction. So, go ahead. Good, good. All right, now my finger's over there. I'm gonna let my finger off and there should be like a little pop. Yep. All right, just got my last hose clamp on, which is a couple of zip ties. That's gonna leak. So we'll probably be doing this again in a minute. Anyway, I think we're like almost ready. I wish I made that fuel line like 8 inches longer. Oh, I cannot move the throttle. Oh, that is the tightest return spring on planet Earth. Sounds great. And it's idling. Apparently, a rebuilt carburetor is better than the one that's just sitting on the chair. Did you check to see if we have water in this thing?
I was only responsible for oil.
Oh my God. Also, I think it's electrocuting me somehow. There's something in there. The fuel line from the tank is touching the header.
Don't think any of the gauges work.
Really quiet. None of the neighbors mind. Anyway, what we did do is took some compressed air and we shot it down into our fuel line here, and we listened to which tank it comes out of or where the air is blowing. And it turns out the driver's side is the one that is still hooked up. There's like a switch underneath that switches both tanks, and this one is cut and it's not being used. So for now we just have one tank, which is fine. Anyway, we don't know what's in that tank, so we are going to rig our fuel system back up to run from the tank, and then we are going to run the engine a little bit just to see what's in that fuel tank, see how bad it is. And then we'll probably just run a bunch of filters to get the stuff out. So aside from the fuel thing that we got to fix, we got some other things. We're gonna put some exhaust on this thing. Not really exhaust, but some glass packs, because I don't want to sound like I'm trying to take off a jet plane in my backyard. I do have neighbors, and they already hate me. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna rig up the fuel system. Apparently this is no good, and Safety Sally here wants to run off the fuel tank. So we're gonna get rid of this, put some exhaust on this thing, and then go over some other stuff and hopefully jam this thing on the road. All right, so what I got is our long line that used to go to our tank over there is now hooked up from our fuel pump inlet back to the hose that went down to the tank. And the outlet here that was going to our carb is now going into this approved bottle. And I'm going to just turn it over with the engine's mechanical fuel pump a little bit just to see what comes out of that. And depending on the color and the amount of schmutz in it, we'll go from there. The reason it started, because obviously there was still fuel in the carb. There probably actually is still some in the bowls, but I didn't give it any accelerator pump, which is why it didn't continue to run. If I did hit the throttle a couple times, the fuel that's in the bowls would be, the accelerator shot would actually push it into the engine and it would start again. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to actually crank it a little bit, try to get, you know, a good portion of whatever's in that tank into this bottle as a sample. All right, so you can see there's not that much more fuel in this than there was a minute ago. So either we lost prime, which is possible because I don't really have any clamps on anything down there. So either we lost the prime or the tank itself is empty or close to it. What I will say is that doesn't look all that bad. So I'm going to probably just hook everything back up and throw some fresh stuff in the tank back there, and hopefully we'll make a martini that's good enough to drink for this thing. All right, I got the throttle cable a little bit freed up. It was just pretty much a you know, the perfect concoction of milk and blue stuff. So that's good. So now it moves better. Now we're in the process of installing these purple hornies. I'd like to meet the guy that came up with the name. Would like to know what he meant. Anyway, on the passenger side, this decides that it really wants to bury itself directly into the cross member for the transfer case. So, you know, as always, we operate at a very high level, precision, which is why I have this rusty piece of flex pipe in my hand, which I am going to install.
Why are you the way that you are?
Okay, now I don't know what to do. Actually, I'm going to cut this right in the middle, and then I'm going to put that in between these two pieces, and then this will just hang out in the breeze. All right, guys, so this is going to get shoved in there, right? And then this is going to get shoved in there, and then ideally that won't fall back out. But anyway, if you guys are interested in high precision race car building, I'll put my email up on the screen right now. Shoot me an email. After collecting 40 pounds of rust in my eyes, we now have an exhaust that hits everything. That's good. And our fuel lines are back here too, so that's extra good. All right, before we can take this thing for a ride, we do the hopscotch skip and a jump down the street with this off-size tire. We're going to go to the tire shop, which is right there, and we're going to swap one of those tires onto this. All right, so we didn't make it far, and you might be wondering what's going on right now. Anyway, so we're discovering that this truck actually never came with a stick, which we kind of knew anyway, because this with the column and whatnot, the fact that the clutch, look at the distance between the clutch and the brake, and some other stuff. But anyway, what just happened is we backed it down the driveway, and then underneath, when I push this clutch, you can see this flasher is crushed. The bolt here hit the flasher. That's number one. And number two is up at the top, you can't really see it, but there's a nub. Like, I don't know if you can see this, it's dark. But up here, there's this nub or something that's on the brake, the clutch pedal, and it actually got caught behind the fuse panel, and this pedal got stuck down. So there's some things going on. Right now we're stuck at the bottom of the driveway. We're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna get it back up the driveway so I can at least cut that nub off and this end of the bolt here. If you're asking yourself, why am I holding the clutch pedal? Well, that's because things are going swimmingly here. Anyway, we cut this piece off because it was hitting our fuse block, and now this clutch pedal likes to slide off of the actual rod that it's supposed to be riding on. So what we got to do now is take the super duper long bolt, that goes through here and out the other side, which of course the end that we need to get the washer on in order to make sure that this doesn't come off, it needs to go on this side. So now we've got to play this game of getting that super duper long bolt out and then making sure we feed it through all the other things without things falling apart inside. So that should be fun. Check back in with you guys in about 3 days. All right, we're behind the wheel of our newly acquired race car. Let me give you a listen. And it's got a 4-speed, but it's like stirring like lukewarm porridge. So I'm having trouble finding the gears. Also, if it looks like I'm a midget, it's not. Although I'm not very tall, I am sitting about 9 inches down into the springs here. And so you have a bird's eye view down. We're taking this thing, we're gonna go get some gas. We're gonna whip it around, maybe clean it up a little bit, give it a bath, and I don't know, see how it drives. Guys, we're in a time is money type scenario, and it's a time is money business, so I don't want to lose any time rebuilding this thing. So right now, we're gonna continue our flip while we're fueling this thing up, and we're gonna paint our wheels. A nice crap brown. There you go. Now it looks like something you left in the toilet earlier. Didn't flush. Wish I could let everybody know what we're doing. Got it. Alright, I know it's dark, but it's almost nighttime. I mean, it is kind of nighttime. Anyway, steering is pretty loose. The brakes feel like they're not the same brakes that I started with, which is weird, because I don't think that's how brakes are supposed to work. The gearbox is, like I said, it's like stirring chunky peanut butter. What I tell you, this thing is a whole lot of fun. And this is why you guys need to get out in the garage, do things. I'm driving a project that somebody quit on somewhere down the road. And it's a shame, because this is a cool truck. Pulled over, we're gonna switch off. We're gonna let the old Rook have a shot at it. Sounds pretty good, guys. I mean, we got lights on this thing. I'm proud of this old truck. Like I said, guys, this is why you gotta get out in the garage and finish your stuff. This is somebody's project. You can see that somebody enjoyed driving this thing, and they quit on it for whatever reason. You know, I wish that guy finished his project and got to enjoy it like I'm enjoying it. It's a good time. These trucks are cool. All right, we're back home. We made it. This old girl did great, actually. We had this thing out for like a half hour, 45 minutes. Took it to the car wash. It was closed, so she's gonna have to stay at Dirty Girl. We'll get her washed up next time. Just gotta earn it, you know. But yeah, the truck drove great, and you know what? It's another project back on the road. I had a ball. I got to hang out with one of my best buddies, work on an old Chevy. This is something I encourage all you guys to do. You guys should get out in the garage and do something like this with a good friend. Have a good time. You know, spend minimal money, or spend lots of money. Screw it. Who cares? Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this video. We've got more to come on this truck. Obviously, you guys already know we got a bunch of other projects in that garage. More than I have time for. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us gain some traction and get this thing going. And as always, thank you guys for watching American Nostalgia Garage.